Well, folks, it's time for the game of the week. And this week we're moving to the Bundesliga and having a look at potential fixtures there on the back of the Millwall success 2 weeks ago in the Championship. And then we followed it up with a very successful selection of Paris Saint-Germain to win and win well against Monaco. And of course, they won 7-1. But it's the German Bundesliga that we go to. And I couldn't make up my mind between two games. We're going to tell you about the game that will be the game of the week in a moment. But just for those who might be looking for a bit more value, I also looked at the Leipzig-Hoffenheim game, and I think that Leipzig will win this and win this quite nicely, and should be a safe win bet. If you have a look at Leipzig's home form, although Hoffenheim are just behind them, that's pretty impressive. They've had 8 victories from their 15 home matches, and the key here is that Hoffenheim have only been able to win 3 times on the road. So if you have a look at the goals scored by Leipzig at home, that's also pretty solid. And Hoffenheim, they do score away from home, but as I say, they've only won 3 times. So I quite like the result of Leipzig to beat Hoffenheim, perhaps by 2-1. But that just got me warmed up for the real game of the week, which is lower down in the Bundesliga. Now, of course, where we are in all of the European leagues at the moment is in the final couple of matches, where a lot of sides are trying to push for either promotion or push for avoiding relegation. These two sides that I'm going to take you to the game of the week don't fall in either of those categories, and it's why I like the fact that we can go low on total goals. I don't think there'll be too many goals in my chosen game of the week, and that is going to be Stuttgart versus Werder Bremen. So I'm actually going for Stuttgart to win by 1-0, but I wouldn't rule out a 0-0 draw, to be honest, because both Stuttgart and Werder Bremen aren't exactly prolific in front of goal. So let's have a look at a little bit of the stats, shall we? Low on total goals is the market play. Stuttgart, they have played 15 matches at home, and although they've won 8 of them, they've only scored 14 goals. So think about that for a moment. 15 home matches, only 14 goals at home, averaging less than 1 a match. And their opposition, Werder Bremen, they've played 15 games away from home. They've only won 3 of them, which is not a great track record. But they themselves have only scored 15 goals on the road, and they've conceded 20. So I'm thinking they might concede against Stuttgart, but they're unlikely to score against a side, Stuttgart, who have conceded only 9 goals in those 15 matches. So across the board, I believe that Stuttgart and Werder Bremen, fingers crossed, will have a low-scoring contest, and I think Stuttgart might just shade it. But even if it's 0-0, that won't be a bad result if you're going on total goals. So my prediction for the match is Stuttgart 1, Werder Bremen 0, but the play perhaps is to go low on total goals.